Good evening, everybody. This is Kevin, KE7K. I'll be your net controller for the first third of tonight's East Coast Reflector Tech Net. We'll have Roger and Dick bringing up the second and third thirds. We're here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This is net number 631. We have an order of operations for the net. We do facilitators, swap and shop listings, silent keys, celebrity call sign of the week, new users, users with questions, and then general check-ins. General check-ins go by the number in your call sign, not where you're located. So if you're a 7 and you're in Florida, you check in with the 7s. This week, 2s are up first and 0s are last. So 2, 3, 4 up through 9, and then back down to 0. Tonight's question, if you'd like to be thinking about it, is what's a must-have feature when buying a radio? What's a must-have feature when buying a radio? We'll start out with any system facilitators that would like to check in. Please come now. Final call for any system facilitators. Please come now. All right, nothing heard. Next up, we're going to do the swap and shop listing from Kevin, one of our system facilitators, VE3BZ. Go ahead, Kev.
Thank you, Kevin, and good evening, everyone. This is Kevin, VE3BZ, with tonight's Swap and Shop section of the net. Starting this off, Henry, WB4IVB in Corbin, Kentucky, has some Motorola CM200s for sale. These are UHF 438 to 470 megahertz, 25-watt radios, 4-channel radios, with the 16-pin accessory connector in the back. These are great for making all-star nodes or GMRS repeaters, etc. They come complete with accessories, programming, which also includes the 16-pin connector programming. To make an all-star node, you can just get the rim light fob from Repeater Builder and interface it with the Pi, and boom, you're off to the races. Henry also makes cables for these radios, so if interested, contact him with any interfacing requirements, and he can set you up with a cable if you need. He's asking $145 each, which includes shipping, and PayPal is accepted. And Henry's email is wb4ivb@hotmail.com. Let me drop for a sec. And our second and final listing of the evening is from Dave, WA2KJC in Clio, Michigan. Dave has a Ramsey COM3 service monitor for sale in working condition, and he prefers local pickup so that the buyer can test it before purchasing. And he is open to offers. And Dave's email is wa2kjc@gmail.com. And that is all for this week. If you have anything that you would like to sell or are looking for an item or have something you want to trade, just go to eastcoastreflector.com, click on Contact ECR, and go to SwapNet Submissions, or just email me directly at ve3bz@rogers.com. All right, thank you, Kevin, and back to you, VE3BZ.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. You do a great job organizing all that stuff and reading them out every week. And go Blue Jays if they can hold off the Yankees. All right, we'll move to the silent key portion of the net. This is where we like to recognize, I don't like to, but we recognize anybody in the East Coast Reflector family that may have passed away recently. We've already got a couple in the log, unfortunately. Alan in Minnesota City, Minnesota, KF0GTF, and Steve in Oregon, Ohio, KC8IDM. Does anybody else have a call sign, a silent key that they'd like to recognize? Please come now with your call sign. All right, nothing heard. We'll make a final call for Alan and Steve. KF0GTF, KF0GTF, and Steve, KC8IDM, KC8IDM. This is W2ECR calling. This is your net control, KE7K. Next up in the order of operations is Joe with our celebrity call sign of the week. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This truly does go around the world. What's the must-have feature when buying a radio? Well, I guess almost all of them are digital these days, but I'd have to say memories. So it's easy to recall all the parameters, whether it's plus or minus offset on the repeater, what the PL tone is and all that. So memories, I guess I would have to say. But as with many of these celebrity call signs of the week, this was from the English language Wikipedia and is therefore subject to the Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike 4.0 license. Our celebrity was born in Enid, Oklahoma on November 22nd, 1930. He was a Boy Scout, earning the rank of Star Scout, and graduated from Enid High School in 1948, where he served as senior class president and was voted most likely to succeed. Well, as we will find out, succeed he did. He received a Bachelor of Science degree in Electrical Engineering from the University of Oklahoma in 1953. He was also the elected president of the senior class. He later earned a Master of Science and PhD degrees from Stanford University in Electrical Engineering in 1957 and 1960, respectively. Owen served as electronics officer in the United States Navy from 1953 to 1956. From 1961 through 1965, he was an assistant professor and associate professor of electrical engineering at Stanford University. He performed research and led graduate studies in ionospheric physics after obtaining his doctorate, and authored or co-authored more than 45 scientific papers, chapters, and one book, principally in the areas of the physical sciences. So I don't time these out. I'll drop a second. In 1965, Owen was one of the 6 scientist astronauts selected by NASA. His first space flight, the Skylab 3 mission in 1973, set a world record at the time for duration, approximately 60 days, which was more than double the previous record. Extensive experiments were conducted of the sun, of Earth resources, and various life sciences related to human adaptation to weightlessness. His second space flight was aboard STS-9, otherwise known as Space Lab 1, in 1983, a multidisciplinary and international mission of 10 days aboard Space Shuttle Columbia. Over 70 separate experiments in 6 different disciplines were conducted, primarily to demonstrate the suitability of Space Lab for research in all these areas. Our celebrity, Owen Garriott, was also an extra-class amateur radio operator holding call sign Whiskey 5 Lima Foxtrot Lima, or W5LFL. He operated the world's first amateur radio station in space and, on December 1st, 1983, made the first amateur radio contact from space using a Motorola handheld 2-meter radio while on board the STS-9 Space Shuttle Columbia mission. And, of course, I chose Owen here, an astronaut from the many that are actually amateur radio operators, because of the 56th anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission. If I read the history correct, the Aldrin, Collins, and Armstrong were orbiting the moon about now 56 years ago, and we're just about ready to head back to Earth. Sadly, on April 15th, 2019, Mr. Garriott became a silent key at his home in Huntsville, Alabama, at the age of 88. Kilo Delta 2, Tango Fox Bravo, back to net control.
Great, thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate the time you put into putting those together each week. Always enjoyable. All right, next up is users new to the TechNet. You may have checked into another net before or just been on the reflector in general, and that doesn't count toward this new category. If you have never been on the TechNet before and you'd like to get in at the front, please come now with your call sign.
Kilo Romeo 4, Echo Papa Mike. Back to Smith.
Hold on just a second, Robert. All right, good evening, Robert, or Rob, if you like to go by that. Let us know in Madison, Alabama, KR